Radhe Shyam. So today I am going to speak about the glories of Ekadashi Vow. This is from Padma Purana, section 7, chapter 23. Sri Vyasadeva, he narrates a pastimes to sage Jaimini. He tells that formerly on the earth there was a king. His name was Kocharasha. This king was very calm and he was best among those who knows a statesmanship. He always controlled his senses, and both he and his wife Supradnya, they were devoted to the worship of the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu Narayan. They both were engrossed in the service of Lord Sri Hari, and his queen Supradnya, she was very pleasing. She always spoke a pleasing words, and she was endowed with all divine characteristics. And both were serving Lord Vishnu by following the Ekadashi vow, and they always desire the good of all the living beings. And she was very noble. So this king who knew the highest truth, having observed this Ekadashi vow by following all the rules and regulations of Ekadashi, in the meantime, a certain Brahmin named Shauri, who was very illustrious, came to the king's palace where people kept awake on the day of Ekadashi. So seeing the king highly devoted to the worship of Lord Vishnu, so the king saw him coming. So the king was highly delighted and honored him by offering him water for washing his feet. The Brahmin, knowing this entire truth and comfortably seated among them, he saw many devotees are observing the Ekadashi vow and they are engaged in Vishnu's worship. Some were worshipping Vishnu with many fragrant flowers, sandalwood, incense, lamps. Some were offering the garlands of Tulsi to the deity of Lord Vishnu. Some were dancing in front of the deity of Lord Vishnu. Some were singing the glories by keeping a rhythm and clapping their hands and charming songs about Vishnu. Some were praising a Vishnu, the Lord of the worlds, with excellent hymns having divine meanings and containing a pleasing letters. Some were fanning the deity of Lord Vishnu, and some played upon the charming, pure, auspicious musical instruments like a lute. So both this king and the queen, being very much delighted, they were singing a charming song and were dancing in front of the deity of Lord Vishnu for the pleasure of the Lord. So this Brahmin Shauri, he was astonished and happy and excited to see these activities of devotional service. So he spoke with the gentle words to the noble couple who were dancing and singing the glories of Lord Vishnu. So Shauri asked a question, "Oh my dear king, you are so fortunate, and your queen Supradnya, she is so fortunate. And this auspicious behavior of you both is very difficult to be found on the earth. I have not seen an excellent devotee of Vishnu like you, and there is no doubt that the earth with you as a king is blessed. O king, along with your wife, you are observing this pure Ekadashi vow, which is very dear to the Lord. So, you are the chief among the Vishnu's devotees. And with your wife, you are dancing so joyfully and singing before the deity of Lord Vishnu for the pleasure of the Lord. So this behavior of both of you, couple, is seen to be wonderful. So, for what reason such an extremely pure thought has arisen in the mind of you? So, having heard these words of that Brahmin, Shauri, Supradnya, the king's wife, she smiled and she spoke to the Brahmin. So Supradnya said, "Oh, best Brahmin, do you know, I remember my previous birth. We too, me and my husband, in our previous birth, we were great sinners. But due to following the Ekadashi vow unknowingly, we were freed by the Yamaraj, the god of death, who is the son of Surya Dev. O best of Brahmin, due to the power of recollecting the past existence, we are now observing this divine Ekadashi with the desire to reach the highest place, which is the Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu, to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord Vishnu with his consort, Sri Lakshmi Devi.